Cecil Carlyle John, also known as Pepe, of Lamouth St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 23rd April 2024 in the USA, at the age of 67. He is survived by his wife Ingrid John, brothers Kenrick John and Michael John, sisters Bernadette John Batiste, Gloria John Ed, and Carol James in the USA, nephews Michael Jr., Sean, Karim, Jermaine, Kieron, Marcus, Kenrick, and Jelani, nieces Andrea, Michelle, Nicole, Joey Shaw, Kimberly, Chanel, and Shanisha, brothers-in-law Leslie Ed and Dave James, sisters-in-law Mariam, Cleaver, Andrea, Faith, and Daphne, aunts Lucy Frederick in Grenada and Auntie Cynthia in Trinidad, uncles Edward Strawn in Grenada and Ellis Strawn in the UK. Many other relatives and friends, including the Strawn family in New York, Canada, and England, the James family of Grandaunce and Beaulieu, the Noel family in New York and Trinidad, the Valdez family, and the Brasnell family. Many close friends, Bernard, Galborough Charles, and the staff of the Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital, Boston, and friends and neighbors of Pawtucket and Boston, USA. The funeral service and interment of the late Cecil Carlyle John, also known as Pepe, of Lamouth St. George, will take place on Saturday, May 11th in the USA. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Elaine Adonis Williams Thomas of New Hampshire St. George, who resided at Arona, Trinidad, passed away on Monday, 29th April at the age of 55. She was a wife of Justin Philip Thomas, daughter of Leonora Williams in the USA and Leda Nichols in Grenada, mother of Renee Thomas in the USA, Terika Thomas Noel, Mugabe, Shamak, Keod, Sidoni, and Naomi Thomas in Trinidad, sister of Yulin, Jesserin, and Heather Telesford, and Urit Cyrus Horn in the USA, Sheldon Thomas in the UK, Jacinta Cyrus Penny, Joshua Waldron, Akim Williams, and Raldon Thomas in Grenada, grandmother of Christian Noel in Trinidad, Aunt Amma Yagmo in the USA, mother-in-law of James Noel in Trinidad, stepdaughter of Lydia Nichols in Grenada, niece of Bernadette George in the USA, Jessica McGilvery, Michael and Rodney Morrell. Many other close relatives and friends including nieces and nephews in Grenada, America and the UK, the Langine and Nichols families in Grenada, Trinidad, and the USA, the Williams, Morrell, and Telesford families in New Hampshire, the USA, Canada, and England, and the Waldron family of Tempe. The funeral service and interment of the late Elaine Adonis Williams Thomas of New Hampshire St. George, who resided at Arona, Trinidad, will take place on Tuesday, 14th May in Trinidad. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Dr. Marguerite Joan Joseph of Tontine Terrace, St. George, passed away on Sunday, 14th April 2024, at the age of 70. Dr. Joseph was a former consultant obstetrician gynecologist at the General Hospital, who is survived by her sisters, Mrs. Patricia Joseph Riviere in the UK and Mrs. Jean Joseph Ortega in Canada, nieces and nephews Karen and Louis Ortega and Zara Ortega Beckles in Canada, Angela and Valerie Riviere Berry, and Bernard Riviere in the UK, Janice, Monica, Ricky, Raphael and Stephen Joseph in Grenada, and Mr. Carlisle Batson in the USA. Several grandnieces and nephews, including Yusuf, Khalif and Sharif Ortega Beckles, Louis Ortega Jr., and Jumal Ortega in Canada, Joseph Riviere Hughes, Simone Guerre, Letitia Draxler Riviere, Rihanna, Joshua, Elon and Vaughn Joseph in Grenada, Denai, Enrique, Maxwell and Miles in the UK. Other relatives including Mrs. Joan Etienne and family of Calavini, the Honoré and Louison families of Concord, including Reverend Terence Honoré residing in Trinidad, Mr. Anthony Cador and family of Concord, the Joseph family of Calavini, Dr. Hugh Quashie, Mrs. Janet Honoré and family of Concord, and her caretaker Ms. Hazel M. Charles of Willis. Other colleagues and friends, including Mrs. Merlin St. Bernard Lindo in the USA, Dr. Christopher Allen in the USA, Mrs. Nordica Hines of Concord, doctors of the Grenada Medical Council and Grenada Medical Association, the Nurses Association of Grenada, Dr. Jennifer Isaacs and family, the Japal family of Tontine Terrace, Mrs. Stephanie Winsborough and family of Tontine Terrace, the staff at Care Transition Clinic, Archibald Avenue, St. George's, and friends and neighbours of Tontine Terrace and Lansopine, St. George. The funeral service for the late Dr. Marguerite Joan Joseph of Tontine Terrace, St. George, will take place on Thursday, May 16th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, Church Street, St. George's, and interment will be at the St. Valentine Cemetery, St. George's. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Gregory Emmanuel Mason, also known as Greggs, Red Rose and Pops, of Malmount St. David, former prison officer, passed away on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, at the age of 80. Left to mourn are his wife Elsa Mason, children Sandra John, Fabian Regis, Connie St. John, Judelyn and Vaughn Smith, grandchildren Gerald, Jamie, Christian and Courtney, 2 great-grands, son-in-law Michael St. John, sisters-in-law Sandra Calder, Margaret, Cecilia and Carmen Francis, brothers-in-law Linus Joseph and Julian Calder, many nieces and nephews in Grenada, the USA and Austria, godchildren Jean James and Tony Regis, many other relatives and friends including Rosalind Mason and family of Soubise, Moses Mason and family, the Mason family of Crochet St. Andrew in Trinidad and the USA, Dr. Chaitan and family, Nicholas Joseph, the Calder family of Latente, Miriam Bubb and family, Linda Johnson and family, the Alexander family of Grenville, Myrtle Moraine, Mauricia Alexander, the Coppin family, Celia Thompson and family, Monica Smith, the Joseph and Bain families of Westerhall, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, Doctors Batiste and Francis, Peter Hercules, the St. John family, Michael Rose, Glenroy Charles, Father Gabriel Soang, teachers and students of the Malmount Berean Preschool, bus drivers on the St. David's No. 2 route, at the friends and relatives of Malmount and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Gregory Emmanuel Mason, also known as Greggs, Red Rose and Pops, of Malmount St. David, will take place on Friday 17th May at 2 p.m, with tributes commencing at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Martin de Porres RC Church, Crochet St. Andrew, and interment will be at the Crochet Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Richard George Fisher, also known as Ethel, of River Road, St. George, passed away on Monday, 8th April 2024, at the age of 57. Left to mourn his wife Andrea Scott Fisher and her daughter Denaya. He was the father of Nadia Griffith, brother of Victor Doyle in Grenada, Jenny Joseph and Marilyn Fisher in Canada, Claudette Fisher Harvey in the USA, Ralph Fisher in England, Daphne Stanley in Venezuela, Agnes, Nell and Joyce Renaud in Trinidad, grandfather of Rishon and Zamer Griffith, great-grandfather of Xavier Griffith, nephew of many, uncle of many including Ryan Thomas, Alvin Doyle and Celine Phillip, Samantha Duracan and Sandra Pear, granduncle of many, son-in-law of Carmen Carmi Scott, brother-in-law of many, many cousins, other relatives and close friends in the USA, England, Barbados, Canada and Trinidad, including Vernon Yardy Regis and family, Herman Mello Peters and family, Merle Bayer and family, Suzanne Rettard and family, Alison Harrison, the Fisher family of St. George and St. David, the Doyle family of Tempe, the Scott family of Darbo, the Bascom family, the children of Simon Sayo Moses, the Julian family of River Road, Harold Flash Williams, Martin Kayak Benjamin, Brian Hood, Ski, Kalisha and Rondell Griffith, the management and staff of Gravel and Concrete, the River Road Legacy Foundation, the Rangers football team, the GBSS Old Boys class of 1983, members of the Grenada Bikers Club, and friends and neighbours of River Road, Darbo and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Richard George Fisher, also known as Ethel, of River Road, St. George, will take place on Friday 17th May at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, Church Street, St. George's, and entombment will be at the St. George's Centre Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Rosamond Patricia Alexander, née Telesford, also known as Rosie and Nan, of Monrepo, Providence, St. David, who resided at Sunset Valley Point, Saline, St. George, and in England. Former teacher of St. David's R.C. Primary School. Passed away on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, at the age of 83. She was the mother of Jason Alexander and Samantha Alexander Lewis, mother-in-law of Leighton Lewis, grandmother of Rena Sager Lee, great-grandmother of Callista, Shemela, and Shadante, sister of Stephanie Rebecca, also known as Netta, Ralph, Agatha, Bernadette, Hyacinth, Jacqueline, and Judith. Many nieces and nephews. Beloved Kara, Clarecell. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Hubert, Sarita, known as Tita, Dornette, friends in Grenada, Carriacou, England, Canada, the USA, Ireland, Greece, Trinidad, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and Barbados. The funeral of the late Rosamond Patricia Alexander, née Telesford, also known as Rosie and Nan, of Monrepo, Providence, St. David, who resided at Sunset Valley Point, Saline, St. George, and in England, will take place on Friday, 17th May at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. David Catholic Church, and interment will be at the St. David Catholic Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Horace John Russell, also known as Iceman, of Bogles Carriacou, passed away on Monday, 6th May 2024 in the USA, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Horace John Russell, also known as Iceman, of Bogles Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Jamal Akim Anthony Felix, also known as Snuffy, of Bellevue St. David, passed away on Monday, 6th May 2024, at the age of 24. The funeral arrangements for the late Jamal Akim Anthony Felix, also known as Snuffy, of Bellevue St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
John Derek Stephen, also known as Rasta, of Vendome, St. George, passed away on Friday, 3rd May, at the age of 67. The funeral of the late John Derek Stephen, also known as Rasta, of Vendome, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
John Gordon Pear of Bellevue St. George passed away on Saturday, 4th May 2024, at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late John Gordon Pear of Bellevue St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Stephen Sharp, also known as Sharpie, of Pomerose St. David, who resided at Monskey St. George, died on Wednesday, 24th April, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements of the late Stephen Sharp, also known as Sharpie of Pomeroy St. David, who resided at Monskey St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Urani Sharp of Pomeroy St. David, who resided at White's Gun St. George and Brooklyn, New York, died on Saturday, 20th April, at the age of 97. The funeral arrangements of the late Urani Sharp of Pomeroy St. David, who resided at White Gun St. George and Brooklyn, New York, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Margaret Theresa Lee of Belvedere Carriacou passed away on Sunday, 28th April 2024 in Georgia, USA, at the age of 75. The funeral arrangements for the late Margaret Theresa Lee of Belvedere Carriacou will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Eugene Robertson of Montfendu St. Patrick, who resided at Westerhall St. David, died on Saturday, April 20th, 2024 in New York, at the age of 61. The funeral arrangements for the late Eugene Robertson of Montfendu St. Patrick, who resided at Westerhall St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Sarah Francis, also known as Rode of Montu St. George, died on Saturday, 27th April 2024, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Sarah Francis, also known as Rode of Montu St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Jeffrey Johnson Linton, also known as Jeff of H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, who resided in Toronto, Canada, passed away on Tuesday, 23rd April 2024, at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Jeffrey Johnson Linton, also known as Jeff of H.A. Blair Street, St. George's, who resided in Toronto, Canada, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Lorraine Williams, also known as Tanti Lou of Grove Estate, St. John, died on Wednesday, 24th April 2024, at the age of 68. The funeral arrangements for the late Lorraine Williams, also known as Tanti Lou of Grove Estate, St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Osborne Baptiste, also known as Litterman of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 16th April, at the age of 76. The funeral arrangements of the late Osborne Baptiste, also known as Litterman, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thank you for watching.
I am Godwill James, an MD and a member of Gateway Assembly. Medically, death is regarded as an end or a cessation of life. Various groups have different perspectives about death. While some view death as an enfeebled form of life, others also regard it as a continuation of life. As a Christian, death is largely regarded as a separation of the soul from the body. So, whichever way one may want to view death, I want to say that may the gentle soul of the departed rest in peace in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.